Hello and welcome. Tonight, Christians in Nigeria observe Holy Saturday, marking the end of the Lenten period ahead of the Easter festivity tomorrow amid high cost of transportation and commodities. Security operatives raid notorious camps in the forests of Anambra and Imo State, operated by members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, exhumed 3 bodies suspected to be kidnapped victims. Another political drama looms in Rivers State as the State House of Assembly threatens to resume impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara over alleged constitutional breaches. And 3 United Nations observers and a translator reportedly wounded by shelling in southern Lebanon, allegedly by an Israeli drone strike. Israeli military denies being responsible.
And on business news tonight, the local bourse ends the holiday-shortened week in various territories. The all-share index closes the week negative at 0.08%.
And on sports news tonight, Bulgaria's Grigor Dimitrov to face world number 3 Yannick Sinner in the Miami Open final after battling past Alexander Zverev 6-4, 6-7, 6-4.
Today is Holy Saturday, a Christian religious observance that ends the Lenten season, that is the 40-day period of fasting. The observance commemorates the final day of Christ's death, which many Christians traditionally associate with his triumphant descent into hell, coming between Good Friday and Easter Sunday. Well, Easter is an important holiday for the millions of people around the world who follow the Christian faith as the day celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ. While some observe the festivity in reflection and prayers, others undertake more celebratory engagements of going out as a family or giving to the needy. And talking of the Easter celebration, or celebrating Easter, which is a time many renew bonds of faith, love, and fellowship with loved ones. Well, across the country, many Nigerians are traveling far and wide to share in the festivities and traditions that mark this special time of the year for Christians. Here's a report capturing the Easter travel in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Abuja.
Easter is a time for reflection on the sacrifice by Jesus Christ, and the holiday period is a reminder of the importance of cherishing time spent with family and friends. For many, the choice between road, air, and train travel is a crucial decision that impacts their holiday experience. In Lagos, travelers gear up for their holiday adventures as they try to make the most of a festive season. At airports and train stations, it's a steady stream of passengers checking in and boarding flights and trains to various destinations. However, turnout appears to be lower compared to previous Easter holidays.
For me, I can say I'm lucky because I know that Easter period is a fixed day. So I had already booked my ticket right before now, so I got it a little bit cheaper. But I know that a lot of people are not happy. Some can't travel. Of course, family will understand that they can't travel due to the economy and all of that. But all good and fine. You know, people will learn how to survive the economy.
You just don't wake up suddenly and decide that you're going to take a trip. You plan maybe a month or 2 ahead. Then you can always manage to fly, but it's really expensive.
While the number of travels may be lower this year, some of those who are embarking on their Easter journeys are filled with excitement and anticipation.
I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling happy because Easter is one of the period you get to celebrate with your family, with your friends, outside work, like you have a time off to celebrate with people. It's a festive period, so I'm very happy it's happening.
Once it's holiday, I feel good every time because it's my getaway from work, from my busy schedule, and just try to do something different like I'm currently doing right now. So I'm taking the train to Ibadan and basically spend time with friends and stay off Lagos stress.
In Abuja, the Edo train station witnesses a high turnout of passengers traveling to Kaduna for the Easter celebration. Most passengers can be seen jostling to catch up with the first ride for the day, slated for 9:45 a.m.
Yesterday, today is encouraging. It's a peak period time, and we actually appreciate the turnout that we have since yesterday to today.
No matter the economy, people will still have to go and enjoy their holiday and just take a break to just, calm things down before they come back to the normal hustle and bustle. So I still think the spirit of Easter is still there.
The story is, however, different at the Utako Motor Park, as it experiences a low turnout of passengers. Passengers at the park say the low turnout may be connected to the hike in prices of premium motor spirit.
I think it has to do with the arch economy. It's like our people, everybody is feeling the pains of how the economy hits. So the turnout is very, very low.
Meanwhile, air travelers at the Port Harcourt Airport in Rivers State expressed worry over the high cost of flight tickets. Some say they chose to travel by air because it's currently the safest means due to the issues of insecurity on the nation's major highways.
There is danger going through the road, the insecurity in the state. Nobody wants to travel by road, so traveling by air has always been the very easy, fast and safest way to travel these days.
You know what the consequence? Kidnapping, you spend 200,000 will not bring you out. So it's better to spend the 200,000 around by air than spending it by road.
Meanwhile, some travelers at the popular Rumokoro Motor Park in Port Harcourt also lament the high cost of traveling, especially in this Easter period.
Because of fuel, that is the major problem of this, because of travel. So even in Lagos, to travel from Lagos is 25,000 a night. But this Easter period is 32,000, my friend told me today.
Whether by road, air or train, people are finding ways to celebrate the holiday with the promise of cherished memories with family and friends. And one thing appears certain, the spirit of Easter travel is alive and well.
Meanwhile, many Nigerians across the country are facing the impact of sky-high inflation on their shopping experience amid the Easter holiday cheer. From the busy streets of Lagos to the vibrant markets in Anambra and Abuja, rising prices are reshaping the way families prepare for the Easter festivities.
Nigerians are navigating the impact of inflation as they embark on their Easter shopping at the vibrant Mile 12 market in Lagos.
How much with this basket of tomatoes? They sell this one 50,000 before. So now 23,000.
The strain of inflation evident in their expressions. A buyer and a tomatoes vendor are seen haggling prices.
Too high, it's too high. At least before I used to get this one for 3,500. Now they are calling 7,000. And I want to buy 2 bags. They said it's 14,000. It's very, very expensive. How can we cope with this kind of price?
With purchasing power eroded, many other shoppers are forced to make difficult decisions. The Mile 12 Market Administration says traders are trying to find a balance amid rising prices.
As the leaders of the market, we used to make a meeting that please, he who knows that they should consider the masses. When the price of the market was so high, they should consider the masses to reduce, to bring it down a little bit.
Essential food items have seen their prices fluctuate on a month-on-month basis. As recent data from the National Bureau of Statistics show food inflation galloping to 37.92%, while the headline inflation is at a record high of 31.7%. In AK Oka Market in Anambra State, shoppers and vendors here are facing similar challenges to their counterparts in Lagos. From drink dealers to poultry farmers to those selling perishables, it is severe complaints on the high cost of food items which has resulted in low patronage.
I find it difficult to enter this market, but the whole place is empty, as you can see. If we are managing to see all this I'm carrying here is about 30,000, unlike before. This is chicken, 17,000. Last year I bought it at the same size, 7,000.
Last year, Easter, we were buying a pack of Coca-Cola for 1,900. This year, a pack of Coca-Cola is 4,000.
Others ask the government at all levels to intervene.
When you come into the market with 10,000 naira, there's nothing you can be able to buy with it. Government should know what they will do about this. It's not encouraging at all. They should know what to do.
In Abuja, the Utako ultra-modern market is experiencing a low turnout of shoppers as FCT residents prepare for the Easter celebrations. Traders and buyers at the market explain that the low turnout is not unconnected with the soaring prices of foodstuffs and general household goods.
Like Nigerian rice now, you're selling 70,000. Foreign rice, 95,000. So the thing has not come down.
No, be say if you get money and you rent yourself, you don't get money, what do you go do? You go thief? Don't go thief now.
It's quite nostalgic that Easter has changed. The flavor, the fragrance, the quality, but not the message and the lessons. Message and lesson still stays the same, but the econometrics, the flavor, the feel, that verb that makes Easter Easter, we've lost it in between.
Across Lagos, Anambra and Abuja, the story is the same. Rising prices are reshaping the Easter shopping experience for Nigerians, while hoping that the government will bring the promised renewed hope to the people.
Away from the preparations ahead of Easter, security operatives have raided another notorious camp located in Izioha Forest in Betuli local government area, allegedly operated by members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra and its militia affiliate Eastern Security Network. Now, the Army Commander, 34 Artillery, Obinzi, Imo State, Brigadier General Usman Lawal, explained that the forest has been notorious for torturing high-profile kidnapped victims, adding that the forest, which borders 3 local governments of Oru East, Njaba and Mbetoli, is being controlled by a suspected notorious IPOB commander. 3 corpses were exhumed from a shallow grave in the forest, while several car keys and registration plate numbers, vehicle particulars, as well as personal belongings believed to be properties of kidnapped victims who were killed were recovered. Meanwhile, in the hunt for the gunmen who attacked 2 police stations at Ogbu in Urumba North and Neni in Anocha Council in the last 2 weeks, a joint security team has raided the forest of Ubunka and recovered various materials used by the insurgents who fled on citing the security operatives. The Commissioner of Police, Mr. Adiremi Adeoye, had ordered the team to identify and destroy any camp being used by insurgents to launch attacks within the command. Staying with security, the Niger police says it has arrested 8 suspects linked to the February the 23rd tragic incident that occurred in Ohoro Forest in Ugeli local government area of Delta State, where officers on a fact-finding mission were ambushed, resulting in the death of 6 policemen, while 6 others are still missing in action. A statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, explains that 5 suspects were initially arrested shortly after the incident, while the additional 3 suspects were apprehended at different locations following the statements made by the 5 suspects arrested earlier. The statement adds that the arrested suspects are currently in custody and are assisting the police with ongoing investigation. In part 2, after the break, federal government to reopen the 3rd Mainland Bridge next week as the Minister of Works, David Umahi, inspects ongoing projects in Lagos State. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, coming to you live on Channels Television from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Christians in Nigeria observe Holy Saturday, marking the end of the Lenten period ahead of the Easter festivity tomorrow, amid high cost of transportation and commodities. Security operatives raid notorious camps in the forests of Anambra and Imo States operated by members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, exhumed 3 bodies suspected to be kidnapped victims. Another political drama looms in Rivers as the State House of Assembly threatens to resume impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara over alleged constitutional breaches. And 3 United Nations observers and a translator reportedly wounded by shelling in southern Lebanon, allegedly by an Israeli drone strike. Israeli military denies being responsible. To River State, where the twists and turns in the political atmosphere continued. This time, the State House of Assembly is threatening to resume impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara if, according to the lawmakers, he continues to breach the Constitution. Now, the Speaker of the House, Mr. Martin Amewele, made this known during a press briefing in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. Mr. Amewele, who was accompanied by 26 members of the Assembly, read a statement in which they accused the governor of refusing to keep his own end of the presidential peace accord, which he said the governor signed without coercion.
The River State Assembly has the mandate of the people, and that we swore an oath of allegiance to the Constitution to do the needful, including the impeachment of the governor, as a last resort. So if it becomes a last resort in accordance with the law, we will not hesitate to do so, because no individual is bigger than River State, including the governor. We assure the people of River State that we remain undeterred in our service to our fatherland, and no number of threats, including those of violence against us, just like they attack the Speaker's residence, will make us abandon our constitutional mandate to make laws for the good governance of our dear state. Efforts to utilize misguided individuals and attack dogs to spew lies against the House or misinform the populace with the intention of bringing the House to disrepute has only succeeded in strengthening us. It has succeeded in strengthening our resolve to represent our people even better by focusing on our job. To this end, the 10th River State Assembly will leave no stone unturned in our resolve to make a positive difference in legislation, oversight functions, and effective representation.
To infrastructure development, the third Mainland Bridge is set to be opened to motorists next week. This is according to the Minister of Works, Mr. David Umahi, who was speaking during an inspection of ongoing projects in Lagos State in the company of members of the Senate and House Committee on Works. The minister says the reopening of the bridge will bring reprieve to road users.
It's day one of a two-day inspection tour of ongoing federal government projects in Lagos State by the Minister of Works, David Umahi, alongside members of the Senate and House Committee on Works.
This is here, we are almost kilometers.
First port of call is the Coastal Road Project Terminal, close to Ahmadu Bello Way, Victoria Island. The minister says the coastal project, procured by High-Tech Construction Company at 1.06 trillion naira, is being done in phases, with the first being 10 lanes of 47.7 kilometers.
We're submitting everything about this project to Mr. President, and he will be relating with the National Assembly in terms of funding. But the good thing about this is that this project has a self-cleansing mechanism in terms of return on investment. Yes.
The team appears satisfied with what's on the ground and pledges support.
We've seen it over and over again in this country, where you have great intentions when you want to begin a project, but along the line you run into some sort of trouble. But this is a project everyone is committed, both the executive and legislature, and it must be delivered.
The next major stop is the third Mainland Bridge, which has been shut down partially for about 2 months already.
2 inches asphalt. 8 lanes.
The minister explains that the 11.8 kilometer dual carriageway, initially awarded at 21 billion naira, of which 30% had been paid, has incurred additional cost for solar lighting and CCTV cameras. He concludes with what every road user would want to hear.
In the next 7 days, lane marking is over.
In the next 7 days,
we open it, but formally will be commissioned by Mr. President when he's going to flag off the coastal road.
Day 2 takes the team on water to see the beams of the third Mainland Bridge, which are also being worked on. Other project sites visited include the Lagoon Bridge, Apapa Oshodi Expressway, and the Long Bridge on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. During a courtesy call on the governor, the team expressed appreciation over the work being done in the state, as well as applauded the appointment of David Umahi.
It was really foresight to have appointed somebody that knows how he can turn shovel into turning cement into reality. because it's actually a square peg in a square hole.
Governor Sanwo-Olu, while responding, says the state will continue to partner the federal government to ensure all federal projects get the required assistance.
These are assets that belong to all of us, to the Nigerian people, and your responsibility is to ensure that funding is made available to keep, all of this infrastructure in proper shape and form. For us as a government, we see ourselves as partners with the National Assembly, partners with the federal government, because indeed, what we see at the end of the day is that our people get service.
While the quality of work being put into the projects will be tested by time and frequency of usage, the issue of speed regulation on the rehabilitated 3rd Mainland Bridge must be considered to avoid recklessness by some road users. Chris Elems, Channels Television News.
Staying with infrastructure, this time in the nation's capital, where the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, is appealing to residents for patience over the inconvenience caused by the ongoing road construction projects around the FCT. He explains that in the coming days, more road closures and diversions will be seen in parts of the city, but residents need not worry as the sacrifice is for a good cause. Mr. Wike made the appeal after inspecting some of the projects. Our correspondent Kumbi Aboluwade reports.
It's the weekend, but this did not deter the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, from undergoing an inspection tour of some of the ongoing projects in the FCT. The minister makes his first stop at the Southern Parkway in Garki Area 11, which is expected to link the area to the Central Business District. Next is the Vice President's residence. Afterwards, the minister proceeded to the Dual Carriage Road Expansion Project, which is to link Garki and the Central Business District. Mr. Wike also made stops at the Wusewuye Interchange and Jahi, where an access road construction to link Kubwa Expressway is ongoing. The sixth and final stop by the minister is the Outer Southern Way, which links the Powerhouse Junction to the Apo roundabout.
That does not mean that
During an interview, Mr. Wike expresses satisfaction with the pace of work at the different project sites.
For us, we're happy with what was said, and we thank God that, like I've said before, the Renewed Hope agenda is working. Nigerians can see that the president has done well. The promises he has made to transform Abuja is coming out.
He also appeals to residents of the FCT to bear with all inconveniences caused by the road construction project, as he says it is for the greater good.
We've seen the level of work, and they have appealed to residents, particularly at the interchange 1, that they have to divert traffic, and the public should bear the inconveniences. It's just a temporary inconveniences for the good of everybody.
Mr. Wike also disclosed that in the coming days, road diversions and closures will be seen in some parts of the city and advised residents to keep abreast with new road channels. From the nation's capital, Kumbi Aboluwade, Channels Television News.
Kano State Governor Uba Sani says that despite inheriting huge debts from the administration of former Governor Nasir El-Rufai, his government is working with lean resources to steer Kaduna on a path of progress. Governor Sani said that he inherited a huge debt burden of $587.85 billion and 115 contractual liabilities from the immediate past administration, lamenting that such debt consumes a major part of the state's federal allocation. Now, the governor made the disclosure at a town hall meeting in Kano State to give account of his stewardship.
Despite the huge body of about $587 million, 85 billion naira, and 115 contractual liability sadly inherited from the previous administration, we remain resolute in steering Kano State towards progress, sustainable development, we have conducted a thorough assessment of our situation and are sharpening our focus accordingly. It gladdens my heart to inform you that despite the huge inherited debt on the state, till date, we have not borrowed a single kobo. The key priority areas of our government include safety and security, housing, education, healthcare, support for micro, small, and medium enterprises. We are also prioritizing inclusive development by investing in human capital, stimulating the economy, and providing affordable houses.
Meanwhile, one of the main challenges Governor Uba Sani appears to be grappling with is insecurity. Now, for over a decade now, Kano State, located in the northwest zone, has been plagued by insecurity orchestrated by bandits terrorizing residents of the state. This is despite the fact that the state hosts many critical military and paramilitary institutions, which many believe should be an added advantage in tackling the menace. This next report examines the lingering challenge in Kaduna.
For over 10 years, Kano State has been in the news owing to the lingering insecurity that has plagued several communities and towns across the state. Notably amongst the most affected local government areas are Igabi, Kajuru, Giwa, Badingwari and Chicken in the central senatorial zone, and Zangon Kataf, Jama, Kauru, Kachia, Kagarko and Sanga in the southern part. Sadly, the crisis has left devastating consequences, with huge humanitarian crisis created due to the displacements of thousands of people from their ancestral homes. The position of Kaduna as one of the most terrorized states in the country in recent times calls to question the relevance of the critical military institutions domiciled in the state.
This is a failure of the federal government and by implication the security agents. If they cannot go and locate or hunt the bandits in their locations, well, the speculations or insinuation that some vested interest is involved in it and they don't want it to end.
At present, there are no fewer than 15 military establishments in Kaduna State, while most states have one or even none. Amongst them are the Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, the Army School of Artillery, Kachia, Jaji, the Nigerian Air Force Base, Mando, the Nigerian Army Depot, Zaria, and the Nigerian Air Force School of Technology. Others in Kaduna State are the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology, Kachia, the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, the Nigerian School of Military Police, the Nigerian Police College, and the SSS Training School. In spite of their presence, bandits have successfully carried out several deadly attacks for over a decade, with hundreds of people killed and thousands of people abducted. In some cases, such attacks have sparked protests by residents of affected communities.
We want government to listen to us. What we need from government, we need security.
The climax of the attacks include the recent abduction of hundreds of school children at a government primary and secondary school in Kuriga community in Chicken local government area, and other attacks in Kajuru and Badingwari. Retired Assistant Director of the Nigerian Intelligence Agency, Major Mohammed Galma, believes the lack of extensive intelligence network and collaboration among security agencies is giving the enemies an upper hand.
This matter of fighting insecurity is everybody's job. We're looking for intelligence report. What do you see? And the best way to collect the intelligence is through human being. But this is what we are lacking. Instead of these people to keep on giving intelligence report, has always been requested, none has been coming.
Beyond the presence of several security formations in the area, the state government has also taken measures to improve security in vulnerable communities through the recruitment of 7,000 youth to the vigilante service. However, at a recent meeting with the stakeholders from frontline locations, Governor Ubasani underscored the critical role of intelligence information sharing in curbing the menace of banditry.
We believe security is local, and that's the reason why we believe traditional rulers have a very important role to play, particularly in ensuring that they monitor the community and also observe the movements of people that are strangers within the community.
This argument is also shared by the Chief of Defense Staff during a visit to the Kano State Governor.
What we require is that all Nigerians should put hands together, support the military and other security forces. We are working tirelessly to ensure that we stop these acts of criminality.
While the military and other security agencies continue to give assurances of degrading terrorists and bandits in Kaduna and other states in the Northwest Zone, the expectations of all is that their words are matched with action by taking back total control and ensuring the safety of the people.
Still ahead on the news at 10, local burst in bearish territory as the oil share index closes the week negative at 0.08%. That's in business news. Please join us again. Welcome back. Let's head over to Niger, where the state government has vowed that insecurity experienced in parts of the state will not deter it from implementing its agricultural mechanization drive. The state deputy governor, Yakubu Garba, said this during a solidarity visit to security agencies on the front line of the battle against insurgency in Shiroro local government area of the state. Shiroro Council is the epicenter of the over a decade-long rural insecurity.
Several rural communities that are major contributors to food production in Niger State are located immediately after this 490 meters long Shiroro Bridge. Communities here live in constant fear of attacks from armed bandits, affecting their major source of livelihood. A farmer, Kabir Arena, narrates how difficult it is for farmers to access their agricultural harvest. He is glad that the government has deployed more security personnel to bigger communities in the area, but said the smaller villages are not sufficiently secured.
We know that government have already sent a security, but the only thing, the security, there is no security inside bush. They are living within the town. Please, Mr. Governor and Mr. President, we are begging you people to assist us to bring more security to the bush, to destroy those people that they are killing our people and our brothers.
Here, schools have been turned into IDP camps and healthcare facilities are turned into camp for security personnel. A recent attack on Bassa community in the local government led to the death of several persons and the setting ablaze of farm produce by the bandits. Abdullahi Bassa lost his brother and farm produce during the attack. He has relocated his family to Erena Secondary School. His story reflects that of many in this camp.
Truly, they burnt a lot. There's a store that have over 100 bags of foodstuff. All were burnt. It is my friend here that gave me this cloth I'm wearing.
The state deputy governor, Yakubu Garba, is visiting security personnel in the front line. He said it is a visit to interact with the personnel and commiserate with the people over the losses incurred during the recent attacks in Bassa, Madaka and Alawa communities. He also stated clearly that the government is committed to providing adequate security that will support the agricultural revolution drive of the present administration.
It is natural for somebody, especially that who is armless, to develop that fear in his mind. And the essence of me going down to that community is to reassure them that the government is doing everything humanly possible for us to take our agricultural mechanization to that is a revolution down to them. And that is why if you go to also Baga here, you will see a combination of the specialized vigilante and the local ones. If you come to Arena, you can see how the rounds the community are being controlled by the security agencies.
Yakubu Garba held an interaction with internally displaced persons, community leaders, religious groups, women and youth in Erena, Bana, Galadima Kogo, Zumba, and Gwada. Nigeria's food inflation has reached an all-time high recently, with no indication it will come down anytime soon. The government here is bent on tilling as much land as possible to place her as Nigeria's food hub. What is not clear, however, is how the government will tame the bandits and provide adequate security.
The recent attack on Crocus City Hall in Moscow, which killed at least 137 people, remains one of the most horrendous terror attacks in recent times. Following the outrage triggered by that incident, a former Minister of Aviation, Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode, recently led some former top government officials, including former Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Pantami, on a condolence visit to the Embassy of Russia in Abuja. He said Nigeria suffered similar attacks in the recent past, which necessitated the visit to commiserate with Russia. While thanking the delegation for the visit, the Russian ambassador, Mr. Alexei Shibarshin, called for combined efforts to defeat terrorism.
As you can see, the people that came here today are not just ordinary people. These are people that of high caliber, and they represent millions of others. And we felt it was appropriate to come and express our solidarity with you. We believe strongly that those that were behind this, those we know already, that the Russian security services have so quickly brought to book and have caught. Outside of those ones that have been caught, we believe strongly that it is important, and we have every faith in your system, that you will get to the bottom of it and know those that were really behind it. So it's not just those that you see that you have to administer some kind of response to and bring to justice, but even those that were behind it, we need to identify them, and we need to fight them, we need to oppose them, and in that quest, in that advocacy of that position, we stand with you 100%.
4 of them who were actually doing the firing were arrested near the Ukrainian border in Bryansk region. Mr. Putin personally leads the investigation. So far there is no conclusive information. When it comes, we will certainly let you know. But I'm more than sure that there will be no reprieve, no pardon given to these people who has killed 140 children including, and same figure, 140 are wounded, lying in hospitals. That is terrible.
And now to the education sector in Gombe State, where the Governor Inuwa Yahaya administration appears to be matching words with action, as exemplified in the conception and construction of 5 mega colleges spread across the 3 senatorial districts of the state. The mega colleges are designed as centers of excellence to train the best brains in contemporary arts and sciences using global best learning methods and tools.
Having declared education as the cornerstone of his administration's policies, Governor Inuwa Yahaya has continued to invest heavily in a flagship legacy project called Gombe Mega Colleges to show off the educational progress his administration has recorded across the 3 senatorial districts of Gombe State. These institutions are equipped with state-of-the-art teaching facilities, carefully selected teachers, and offer contemporary subjects such as artificial intelligence and climate change education.
We want our students to be the best they can be, and we want them to fit into the 21st century. We want them to be skilled. We want them to be entrepreneurial. That is why we are adding climate change education into their core curricular activities. And when you go to these schools, you'll see that we have some gardens. Schools have started to imbibe the climate change culture by planting trees, following the footsteps of His Excellency in the 3G project. And you find them that we are trying to make them entrepreneur so that it is skills and degrees.
Governor Yaya's alma mater, Science Gombe, founded in the 1950s, is also one of the mega colleges helping to sharpen young talents for global competitiveness, as the number of students with 5 credits rose from 22% in the past to 67% in 2023.
The students, of course, is one of the strategies in the learning aspect. The students feels okay, the rooms are okay, everywhere light, water available. Now, when you look at all these aspects, now this is stimulate. Students has no problem. Now, what remains is now for them to read and understand very well.
The governor has also reopened and conferred the status of a mega college on government secondary school Duku after staying short for 11 years due to insurgency, a gesture hailed by the community.
There are many villages that want to be in the schools and they don't have the capacity or way of going to the schools. But now that the school has been opened and it's a boarding school, actually they are happy. As even you were here last week, you will see how they are trooping to the school.
On the academic side, teachers in the mega colleges are of the first grade quality, recruited by means of technology.
So if we have, this combination of this quality input, there is every likelihood that at the end of it all, these mega schools are likely going to produce quality graduate output. And as you know, when they produce this, they are going to serve as an input, to tertiary institutions like the Gombe State University here.
The Northeast Development Commission has adopted the Gombe mega colleges model in all the 6 states of the Northeast sub-region. Gombe State Government is also keying into the Safe School initiative of the federal government to keep students safe and productive.
Let's now join Laddie Williams with the very latest in the world of business. Laddie.
Thanks, Ayo. Well, in business news, the domestic stock market ended the last trading week of March in the red. Well, thanks to profit taking on some bellwether stocks. As a result, the market main index fell by 0.08%, bringing the month and year-to-date performance to 4.7% and 40% accordingly. However, sectoral performance of listed equities was largely positive, except for the consumer goods counter, which dropped by 0.97%. CWG PLC topped the list of gainers with 26.05% price appreciation, while International Breweries PLC left 30 other losers down by 14.55%. While the trio of GTB, Zenith Bank and Access Holding Company were the top 3 contributors to a total of 1.89 billion equities traded this week. And still in the markets, the NASD OTC securities markets performance ended the week positive as the index rose by 2.65% week to date. However, the volume of securities traded this week rose by 756% to 39 million units. The value fell by 26% to close the week at 1.31 trillion naira, while the number of deals carried out was at 68. Top advances for the week are Afriland Properties and Akeredolu Holdings PLC, while the top decliners are Capital Bancorp PLC and Central Securities Clearance System, which also emerged as the most traded security. And to North Africa now, the International Monetary Fund Executive Board has approved a $5 billion add-on to Egypt's loan program, confirming an announcement earlier this month that coincided with the central bank allowing the country's currency to plummet. Egypt and the IMF had struck a deal for $3 billion, a 46-month extended fund facility in December 2022. The first and second reviews of the facility, previously delayed, were now completed. According to the IMF, the augmentation will allow Egypt to immediately draw about $820 million. And to Ghana now, where the new gold exchange-traded fund topped all assets on the Ghana Stock Exchange to return an impressive 20.8% in March and 35.9% for the year overall. The ETF is an ABSA capital-sponsored exchange-traded fund on the GSE whose returns are determined by the global price of gold. It therefore tends to perform well when the Ghana cedi struggles against its major trading partners. Stocks overall are up 10.41% for the year, while financial stocks are up 5.25%. And after the cryptocurrency market, we see the largest cryptocurrency by market cap, Bitcoin, has rallied about 66% at current prices in the first quarter of 2024, as that nears an end. Bitcoin kicked off the year at about $42,000 per coin and traded at a high of $73,000 in the middle of March. Analysts expect more volatility in April as Bitcoin halving nears, which reduces the reward given to the contributors securing the network by 50%. directly impacting the rate at which new Bitcoins are introduced into circulation. And that's business news. Back to Aya with the rest of the news at 10.
Many thanks, Laddie. Time now for some sports news with Victoria Longjohn.
Thank you, Ayo. In the exciting world of sports, we begin with the English Premier League as Newcastle United secured a hard-fought 4-3 victory over West Ham at St James Park. Elsewhere, Bournemouth beat Everton 2-1 at the Vitality Stadium. Relegation threatened Burnley forced Chelsea to a 2-2 draw at Stamford Bridge. In other matches, Nottingham and Crystal Palace played a 1-1 draw. Sheffield United also played a 3-3 draw with Fulham. Tottenham Hotspur came from a goal down to beat New Boys Luton Town 2-1. Aston Villa defeated Wolves 2-0 at Villa Park. And Danielle Collins enjoyed a fairy tale farewell to her time at the Miami Open by lifting the title at her home tournament. Collins won the Miami Open after beating Elina Rybakina of Kazakhstan 7-5, 6-3. The 30-year-old world number 53 is the lowest-ranked woman ever to win the tournament. And Grigor Dimitrov of Bulgaria beat Alexander Zverev 6-4, 6-7, 6-4 to reach the Miami Open final. The world number 12 will face third-ranked Australian Open champion Jannik Sinner in Sunday's final of the Masters 1000 series event. The win means Dimitrov will return to the top 10 in the ATP rankings for the first time since 2018. His 260-week wait is the third longest in the history of the rankings. And Victor Wembanyama hit a career-high 40 points, including a big three-pointer with 1 minute and 12 seconds to play in overtime as the San Antonio Spurs held off the visiting New York Knicks. The Spurs came through 130 to 126 despite New York's Jalen Brunson hitting 61 points. The 20-year-old Frenchman's Hall saw him become the first rookie to record a 40 points, 20 rebound game since Shaquille O'Neal had 46 and 21 in 1993.
That they've developed through the season and playing a very physical team. You know, they gave what they got and stayed strong when New York made a heck of a run. And that, to me, that's the best part of the game. It shows, you know, that progression in what it takes to win a game in the NBA, you know, against, you know, Tibbs' teams are always tough-minded and execute. Brunson's amazing. You know, he's amazing. And I thought our guys down the stretch, we did a good job hitting him and double-teaming him when we wanted to down the stretch and making other people participate.
And preparations are underway for the gardens of the Versailles Palace to welcome Olympic horse riders and tens of thousands of visitors when it hosts equestrian and modern pentathlon events during this summer's Paris Games. Temporary facilities, including grandstands, are being built across the park where up to 40,000 people are expected to attend the cross-country part of the event. The main arena will hold over 16,000 seated spectators for the dressage and show jumping competitions. Located at one end of the Grand Canal, the largest basin in the park, to offer a spectacular view of the palace, was home to Louis XIV and Marie Antoinette. Sports News is now back to you, Aya.
Many thanks, Victoria. But before we turn our attention to the international news, let's head to Bauchi, where more women in that state are being encouraged to take the opportunity for a second chance in learning to enhance their prospects in the market. This message was reiterated by speakers at a forum organized for adult women in the Bauchi state capital. The event was put together by the Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, Bauchi State Chapter, in collaboration with UNICEF, Bauchi Field Office, and the Office of the Bauchi State First Lady. Our correspondent, Hajara Aliyu, reports.
A total of 40 women, carefully selected from various adult education centers across Bauchi State, are undergoing training on the importance of second chance education. The program aims to raise awareness about the significance of utilizing these educational opportunities to improve their positions in society. The initiative is supported by the Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, Bauchi State Chapter, UNICEF Bauchi Field Office, and the Office of the Bauchi State First Lady. It is part of a larger movement advocating for increased women's inclusion.
Most of them here are out of school, maybe due to one reason or the other. So we want to encourage them to go back and get just the basic education they required.
During the workshop, the facilitators emphasized the numerous benefits of educating women within society.
I'm optimistic that if they pay close attention and attend all their classes and also get empowered by vocational skills, they can become professors and doctors in the future.
Really, the women, if they have the opportunity, they are really embracing the idea. As you can see, many of them, they are here and they really are giving out their time.
The participants expressed their gratitude for the training, calling on other women in their communities to break free from the shackles of illiteracy.
I will make use of the knowledge I acquire here and transfer same to my children and other women.
In addition to the training, the women also receive learning materials to aid in their knowledge acquisition. Hajara Aliyu, Channels Television News.
The United Nations peacekeeping mission says 3 of its observers and a translator have been wounded by shelling in southern Lebanon. A Lebanon state news agency reports that an Israeli drone strike was behind the explosion, but the Israeli military denied it was responsible. The UN mission, UNIFIL, explains that those hurt were receiving treatment and that it was investigating the blast's origin. It comes after rising tensions along the unofficial Israel-Lebanon border. UNIFIL in a statement reports that a shell had exploded near the group who had been on a foot patrol along the UN demarcated blue line that divides southern Lebanon from Israel, as it describes the targeting of peacekeepers as unacceptable. A hostage situation at a nightclub in an eastern Dutch town has come to an end after a man was arrested. The man had entered the premises early in the morning, threatening to blow himself up and taking 4 people hostage at the Café Petticoat in Eid. Now, armed police evacuated the residents in about 150 homes in the area, but said there was no indication of a terrorist motive at the time. The town centre was also closed down and trains to and from the area cancelled. An initial group of 3 people, all employees of the club, were released, and the 4th emerged about 6 hours after the incident began. But the hostage taker was subsequently arrested. And the main news again. Well, Christians in Nigeria today observed Holy Saturday, which marked the end of the Lenten period. And this came ahead of Easter tomorrow, as many lamented the high cost of transportation and commodities, even as they prepared for the festivity. Security operatives have raided notorious camps in the forests of Anambra and Imo states, said to be operated by members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. They also exhumed 3 bodies suspected to be kidnapped victims during the operation in Imo state. And 3 UN observers and a translator have been reportedly wounded by shelling in southern Lebanon, allegedly by an Israeli drone strike. The Israeli military has, however, denied being responsible for the action. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. And happy Easter.